Hey, welcome back to my channel. Bear with me when it comes to like this lighting, the background. I'm actually in the process of traveling, so I may do I'll just do a little short about my travel vlog. This is like driving me nuts because like I want the lighting to be like phenomenal. Like it's barely even bright in this hotel room. Ugh, okay. Anyway, um, according to this title, right? You're definitely a book lover, and this is going to be the first book review for my channel. I have I did like a small YouTube short once of a book that I read, but I like to read. That's something I like to do in my pastime. So I was like, okay, bet I'm gonna do a book review over this book. So I highly recommend you go out and get this book, whether you're 21, 22, 19, 34. Go and get this book. Everyone should definitely read it at least once. Now it's called The Defining Decade: Why Your 20s Matter and How to Make the Most of Them Now by Meg J. She has a PhD, so she's a psychiatrist. It's an updated edition that I have. And within this book, there's also what's it called? Why am I having a brain fart? Oh, there's like questions for you to like, let's say you have a book club, right? Your life group, your church group, they do, or even your friend circle, you guys do a book club and there's questions. Well, there's on the back, there's questions you can do along with each chapter. So in the section of the book where she talks about dating, these are some of the questions they ask that you can ask and have, a discussion and maybe even a discussion with your partner. Have you ever been in love or in lust but not in like? How could you tell and how did this play out over time? So these are even questions you can maybe ask yourself and reflect back on, maybe your decisions. I'm just going to share with y'all a few of the parts of the book that stuck out the most to me. So in the very beginning, in the introduction, she talks about that you don't have to be 20. Like people who are in their 30s wrote her and talked about how they benefited from the knowledge in this book. So that was number one. I like the fact that this is not age specific. Then I like that she hits on identity capital. When I first started reading this book, I was at a time in my life where I kind of was just like, I don't really like my job. I don't really like what I'm going to school for. I kind of was in a bubble of like, I don't like this. What if I'm missing out on something else? Or this is not where I want to be in my life. How do I get to that next step? So when she starts talking about identity capital, it registered with me. And pretty much, which I'll read the passage out of. Actually, I can read it to you now. Um, okay, so this is page 6 of the book. Identity capital is our stock of personal assets. It is how we add value to who we are, and it is what we have to show for how we have spent our time. These are investments we make in ourselves or the things we do well enough or long enough that they become a part of who we are. So for me, at the time when I started reading this book, I was in the art. I mean, I'm in the army, y'all know that. But I was at a crossroads where I'm just like, why am I still doing like what is my like why am I doing this to myself? Right. And it was also me thinking like I'm in school, but all these accomplishments are just becoming things. Like, why am I doing this? And even though it wasn't something that I enjoyed all the time, it was something that actually was a part of me. Like my military career is a part of me. So I should take pride in it. I should be happy about it and I should make the best of it. Same thing with education. Even though I can't be licensed to teach, I should still, make the best of it. And then this part of the book even got me to step out and try things that I hadn't tried before that I'd be interested in. So one of the things I did is I led a group of me and some troops on a 10-mile hike up Mailbox Peak in Washington. And it was a great experience for all of us because we were all on different levels and we stepped out and did something. I personally would not be like, oh, let me go and do this with the people I work with, or let me go on this trail. Like it was something I kept looking at, but I had never tried. So that really stuck out to me in this book. Another passage that I want to share with y'all that stuck out with me is when she says, again and again, 20 somethings here, they have an infinite time for the dreaded adult things, but so little time for the purportedly good stuff. This makes living in the present easy. It's connecting the present with the future that takes work. And this stuck out for me because I feel a tad bit the opposite. I feel like I'm already always planning ahead, like planning my, oh my goodness, y'all, this freaking lighting is driving me nuts. I always am planning like the next 5 years of my life, the next 5 steps that I failed to actually enjoy what I'm currently living, enjoying my present, like actually going out and doing stuff. And then it also causes me to meet people and become frustrated with them because their mindset is they're like, well, you only live once or you have forever. In reality, we don't have forever. Like my 20s flew by me. Like you really don't have forever. I'll be 30 this year. Like you really don't have forever. So a lot of this book is definitely going to be a gut check and a reality check for some of us. Um, so another passage that I'll share with y'all as well is there is a big difference between having a life in your 30s and starting life in your 30s. And she mentions this when I should have really did this video when I first finished this book because now I'm like having to refresh myself. She mentions this when she's sitting with her 30-year-old something clients who are always like, oh, when people always tell us like, you're still young, you still have time. And she's saying like, yes, that's true, but there's a big difference in like having life and enjoying it when you're 30 and starting your life. And at this time, she was talking to someone who like wanted to go to law school. They had all these ambitions and they're like, oh well, I can do this at another time. But she's like, you're gonna want to enjoy life. And that's I register with that because that's how I feel. Like I want to enjoy my life. Like I want to enjoy my life, but let it still be holy and acceptable to the Lord. Okay. Not out here wilding and stuff. But I want to enjoy my life too. Y'all gotta go out and get this book. For real. And I only have three more that I'm gonna share with y'all. So this is the part when it comes to dating. And the dating part, I actually took my time and read through that. And um, one of the people she's talking to, they're kind of around my age group. And she's like, oh, I'm just out having fun. I don't have to take anyone serious right now, blah, 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 the whole thing. And she hits the girl, and the girl responds back with, I guess now is when I should stop also dating random people I don't really want to be around that much. Because she was like, well, if you don't want to talk to this person and this person isn't who you want to be with, why are you talking to them? Like, why are you dating them? And I had a moment where I was just like, I know this is like really not going anywhere. So I ended up wasting a year of my life with someone, okay? A year and a half of my life. Like, I wasted with someone because it was just like, oh, well, it's just something to do. Like, it's a hobby. Like, I have free time. Why not? But in reality, like she was saying, and she talks about this in the book, one of the most important decisions we make, aside from accepting Jesus as our Lord and Savior, is who we build a family with. Like you could come from a background of having a shitty family. Like your family was the worst people on the face of the earth. But when you decide, like, what, I want to get married, I want to settle down, I want to have kids, I want to build a family, you have the power to create the family you never had. Like who you decide to have children with, who you decide to turn around and be tied to for the rest of your life. Because marriage, ideally, we should go into it thinking like, this is the person I'm going to be buried next to. Like, this is my man. This is my woman. This is my person. Like, we're going to be in the grave together, like dead. Okay. This is the most important decision you can make. And she's like, dating and getting to know people, it shouldn't be something that's just seen as like a game. Like, yeah, you can be focused on your career, you could be focused on school, but at the same time, you still got to take it a bit serious because even for people who have like pregnancy scares, right? And I was guilty of this. Like, if it's someone and I'm praying to the Lord, like, Lord, please don't let me be pregnant with this man's baby, da da da. Right? You're in it. You shouldn't be having sex, right? But like, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Like, you're praying, like, Lord, please don't let me be pregnant with this man's baby, blah blah blah. At the end of the day, God's like, God has showed me like, if this is what you're praying, one, you shouldn't be having sex with him anyway, okay? But if this is what you're praying, chances are this is not someone you want to have a family with. This is not someone you want to have a future with. Like, this is not someone that you want in your life long term. So that was like, ooh, got him. So she also tells her like, start visioning what you want your life in your 30s to look like. And then once you see like at 30 something what you want, how you want it to look, what do you want to do, like what do you want to be doing, backwards plan and start building your life up to match that. And I was like, that's like really good because when I went through a horrible time in my life, I remember I went into the chaplain's office. The chaplain is pretty much your unit's counselor when you can't get into behavioral health, right? I went to his office and I was just like so upset and I was just like, honestly, sir, I'm tired. Like I'm not saying I want to kill myself, but if I don't wake up tomorrow, it's not going to be a bad day for me, okay? And he was just like, I need you to think about what is a quality life to you. What is a good life to you? What does that mean? What is that like what what do you see yourself doing to get that? And that's what I want you to work towards. And that's kind of like what she reminded me of when she was saying that, is like, you know what type of life you want to live, you know what type of person you want to be. So work towards that. Just don't be out here accomplishing things aimlessly. Like, actually work towards doing and being what you want to be. And the last thing I'm gonna share with y'all is the pretty much just at the end of the book. There are no guarantees. So claim your adulthood. Be intentional. Get to work. Pick your family. Do the math. Make your own certainty. Don't be defined by what you didn't know or didn't do. You are deciding your life right now. And that's all I want to leave y'all with. There's no guarantees in life. Like, there's no guarantee we'll wake up tomorrow. There's no guarantee that we will have all the time in the world to achieve our goals. There's no guarantee that we'll have another chance or another opportunity. So if the opportunity approaches itself, baby, take it. Take it and run. Definitely pray on it, but take it and run. If the love is there and you know, like, hey, this is my person and she is my person, he is my person, and like we agree and we can work together and we know, set and plan, because you don't want to look back and be like, dang, I could have did this. But I I'm gonna tell this story to y'all, and after this I'm gonna go because I don't like when these videos begin too long. I didn't realize I was living with a regret until I had went and started recruiting. And I was talking to girls and they were like, "Well, my boyfriend, and I have to talk to my boyfriend because, we've been together a really long time." Mind you, these girls are young. Like, for those of you who know me in real life, I got married before my 21st birthday. Like, these girls are young and they're just like, "I don't know, like I want to, but I just need to see what my boyfriend thinks, or I don't want to leave my boyfriend," right? And so one day I was just like, it just didn't sit well with me. And so I was sitting and I'm like, I would hate for someone to feel how I feel, because there is one thing I wish I would have done that I didn't. And it was go to airborne school. I was young, I was in shape, I didn't have kids, I didn't have ambitions and desires to like have a kid like that. And I really want to go to airborne school, but I was married, and I was married to a cheating man on top of that. So it's like I was married, wasn't really in a good marriage, and I was a newlywed, and I wanted to go airborne. And you guys know when you're MACP, you pretty much both have to agree to do something. And I want to go into 160th store. And so I was talking to my husband. I was like, "Hey, let's go to airborne school. Me and you, blah blah blah, whatever." And I also not only was talking to him about going to airborne school, but I was like, "I want to go to airborne school. I want to go do this." And he was just like, "Well, what about our family? Da, 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 blah, 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 whatever." We end up not even having kids together. So, but to this day, I live with that regret that I let a relationship that I knew was not good, that was not really promising, keep me from achieving something I really want to do. And now I forgive myself and I've moved forward. But it's just like, I don't, going to this next chapter, next 30 plus however many years God gives me, I don't want to go into it thinking like, dang, I should have did that. But instead of me doing that, instead of me jumping on the opportunity, instead of me, going, experiencing and living life, I sat and I felt sorry for myself, or I sat and waited around for someone who was not on the same thing I was on. Like, they weren't supportive. So yeah, don't go into this life having regrets. Like, there's nothing that's guaranteed. I thought I would be able to go again later, and then now it's like I've reached a point where I've made peace with it and I've kind of given up on that. But if the opportunity ever approaches itself, yeah, I'm gonna try. So yeah, that was really it. Aside from that though, this is a really good book. I definitely recommend it. If you have someone who's about to go to college and you're like wondering, oh, what should I give them? Pick up this book, and when they have time, when they're pooping, when they're hungover, give it a read. All right. But that's that. Again, like I said, I'm in the middle of all over the place, so I will not be editing this video. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. And if you did, and you want more videos like this, you want more book reviews, please like this and subscribe, and then comment and be like, what book am I currently reading? Because I am currently reading a book right now. All right, bye, you guys. Have a good day.